For much of modern Canada, Indigenous economies weren't part of the story policymakers told about growth. Indigenous communities were often portrayed as recipients of public spending rather than active participants in wealth creation. How do you explain the economic dimension of reconciliation to audiences who may not have perhaps considered that connection?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And I see it that the biases in the perception of how we experience the Indigenous population, a lot of that is referred to in negative statistics about us as people, and in a gap or deficit, or we're falling behind, or we're marginalized, and all of the language of that, to actually look at this experience of that as the effects of economic isolation over 150 plus years.
You often describe Indigenomics as a process of recentering Indigenous economic power. Could you elaborate on that?
To see Indigenous peoples building the institutions to meet their economic growth and future needs, I think, is an important demonstration of what this recentering means, and whether that's access to capital, participation in resource management or risk management, equity ownership. All those are examples of this recentering of Indigenous economic inclusion.
Indigenous economic power is resurging. Statistics Canada estimates that Indigenous GDP reached roughly $56 billion in 2021, growing almost 60% over the past decade, far faster than the national economy.
Truly, we are only at the beginning of the uptake of the escalation of Indigenous economic power.
I'm Marwa Abdou. This is Canada's Economy Explained. Available wherever you get your podcasts.